In this video, I'm going to be talking about what happened at the Allan Memorial Institute. The Allan Memorial Institute was a psychiatric hospital in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, affiliated with McGill University. Between 1964 and 1973, a series of experiments were conducted on patients at the Allan Memorial Institute without their consent. These experiments were not approved by an institutional review board, and they violated every principle of medical ethics. Donald Ewan Cameron was the director of the institute. He was a psychiatrist who believed that schizophrenia was caused by repressed memories. He believed that these memories were locked away in the subconscious mind and could be causing problems for the patient. Dr. Cameron developed a treatment for schizophrenia called psychic driving. Psychic driving was a form of psychotherapy that involved breaking down the patient's personality and reconstructing it. It sounds crazy, right? Well, it was. This was done through a combination of drugs, hypnosis, and electroshock therapy. The goal was to erase the patient's past and create a new identity for them. This is straight out of a horror movie. Dr. Cameron started his experiments on unsuspecting patients at the Allan Memorial Institute. He would use electroshock therapy on patients without telling them what he was doing. He would also drug them and then hypnotize them. Some of the patients were given barbiturates and then had electrodes placed on their heads. The patients were not told what these experiments were or why they were being conducted. They were simply told that they were receiving treatment for their schizophrenia. The patients were also not given the option to refuse treatment. In fact, many of the patients did not even know that they were being experimented on until long after the experiments were over. One of the things that Dr. Cameron was trying to do was to find a way to control human behavior. He believed that if he could break down a person's personality and reconstruct it, he could essentially control that person. He was also interested in the effects of LSD on the brain. He gave LSD to patients without telling them and then monitored their behavior. He was also interested in the effects of hypnosis on the brain. He would hypnotize patients and then ask them to perform certain tasks. He was interested in seeing how much control he had over the patients when they were under hypnosis. What's really crazy about all of this is that Dr. Cameron was working with the Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA was interested in using mind control techniques on their enemies. They were also interested in developing new ways to interrogate people. Dr. Cameron was one of the people that the CIA turned to in order to help them develop these techniques. As you can imagine, these experiments had a devastating impact on the patients. Many of the patients were never the same again. They suffered from severe memory loss and cognitive deficits as a result of the experiments. Some of the patients also developed multiple personalities as a result of the abuse that they suffered at the hands of Dr. Cameron and his staff. Eventually, Dr. Cameron was fired from the Allan Memorial Institute. He was also banned from practicing medicine in Canada. However, he continued to work with the CIA until 1974. In 1977, he eventually unalived himself. In total, about 70 patients were part of Dr. Cameron's experiments. Of those 70 patients, 23 were given LSD, 45 were subjected to hypnosis, and 30 were given both LSD and hypnosis. A lot of the patients didn't realize that they were part of these experiments until years later, and many of them are still dealing with the effects of the experiments today. This case is a clear violation of medical ethics. Patients were not given informed consent, and they were not given the opportunity to refuse treatment. They were also not told the purpose of the experiments or the risks involved. This is a gross violation of the patient's rights, and it is a sad chapter in the history of psychiatry. The good news is that there are now laws in place to protect patients from this type of abuse. The bad news is that it still happens today. If you want to learn more about this topic, I encourage you to do some research. You can also talk to your doctor about it. Don't let medical science abuse the vulnerable. If you enjoyed this video, stay tuned. I will be covering similar topics. Thanks for watching.